What is up, everybody? A little improv video. I was just thinking about all the Resident Evil games that I own, and some of the original for the PlayStation 1, which unfortunately are not here, so I can't show you those. But just want to show you through the PlayStation 3 era, PlayStation 4 era, and basically tell you which is my favourite Resident Evil game of all time. Obviously, some of the ones that I've got are not here, which is a bit of a bummer. But I hope everyone's doing really well today. It is a cold day today. The sun has stopped shining, and I'm very happy about that because it's been hot for so long. So I am very happy that it's been pretty cool now. So let's get into the video. So the first game on the list, and I've kind of put these in order. Oh, kind of. This is the Resident Evil Origin Collections. Now what this has in them is basically Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1 remake for the GameCube. Not the original, not for the PlayStation 1, but for the GameCube. Now these are the classic style Resident Evil games. Basically tank controls, pre-rendered backgrounds, which I absolutely love. Just phenomenal. If you're getting into Resident Evil, it would be difficult coming from Resident Evil 5 or 6 or any of the remakes to get back to this. The younger generation would be like, this is shit. The graphics are nice, but the tank controls are... If you grew up playing these games, you know how much you love the original Resident Evil games. Yeah, this is without a doubt, and I'm going to stream these one day. I haven't played them for a long time. I remember being pretty challenging with the puzzles. But yeah, Resident Evil Origins Collection. If you can pick this up on the store, PlayStation Store, whatever, get it. Because it's creepy. It's just got a great atmosphere. So, if I'm talking about... In my view, this is probably going to... This is going to be like basically my top 10. This would probably fit in at least number 3 for me, of the greatest Resident Evil games of all time. Number 3 for me. I can say my 1 would be the original Resident Evil 2. The original Resident Evil 2 that was for the PlayStation 1 is number 1. But it's kind of... Yeah, I'd say that's number 1. I don't own it here. I haven't got it here in hand. But yeah, Resident Evil Origins Collection. Now, I'm going to try and make this video as short as I can. But this is Resident Evil 6. Now, a lot of people hate this game. They despise it. It's become a meme. It's like the worst of the franchise. Don't play it. Well, I got news for you. I actually find in this game a lot of fun. Yes, it's bloated. Yes, it's just action, action, action. Do you know what? Don't care. I absolutely enjoy this game. It's co-op. This includes all the maps and the multiplayer DLC. It is a good game. It's not a terrible game. Everyone keeps saying it is. The gameplay elements are there. You know, it is bloated, and the story goes absolutely apeshit and kind of cringeworthy. But I have a special place for Resident Evil 6. This is definitely number 10. You know, it's still in the top 10. I could say it's not in my top 10. It's not even in it, but it is. It's in the top 10. This is number 10 for me. Number 10 on the list. Number 10. It's not as bad as people say it is. So give it a chance. You'll have some fun with your partner playing it or your friends. You can have some really good fun with this game. Now, next up is probably one of the greatest remakes of all time, and that would be the remake of Resident Evil 2. What can I say about this? It is just flawless. It's flawless. Obviously, my heart goes out to the original, because the original will always be the original, but this remake of the classic is just on point. It's scary. It's eerie. You got Dr. fucking X after you. It's just a return to form, done right, and it's just a perfect Resident Evil game for me. Perfect balance. Perfect balance. Just, I mean, everyone must have played this. It's just phenomenal. What can I say? That's probably, you know, top. It's probably my third favorite Resident Evil game ever of all time. Number 3, definitely. Now we have another game. Now this is where I'm kind of going to go a little bit crazy on it. We're approaching Resident Evil Village. Now, the problem with Resident Evil Village is it doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game. It just does not feel like it. I don't know what the story's going on. It didn't hook me. I thought, what the hell is going on here? I think that the Resident Evil franchise lost its way with this. Graphically, it's nice. Gameplay's still there. It's very fun to play. But story-wise and the feel, you've got werewolves and shit. I just don't get it. I don't get it, and they need to get back to, you know, you got Chris in it, so what? Ethan, who gives a fuck about Ethan? I never did, never will. Now we're getting on to number 4, rightfully number 4 in my list of the greatest Resident Evil games of all time, and that would be Resident Evil 4, the remake. Holy mother of mercy, this is so good. This is brilliant. Done right again. Capcom, you know what you were doing here. I have the Steelbook version right here. It's got a sleeve over it. Survival is just the beginning. I have a playthrough on here. I didn't finish the playthrough. I did it off camera because I was getting so aggravated with it. I'm not going to be honest, but I was aggravated with the original too. But I do have a playthrough of the original on my channel. Go and check it out. It's a classic. It's Resident Evil 4. It's Leon. You got Ada Wong. I know the DLC's come out. I'm going to be grabbing that soon. Do a playthrough of that. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake. Just absolutely phenomenal game. Really good. Graphically beautiful. Gameplay just great. What can I say? It's Resident Evil 4 remake. It's just a classic. Now we get onto the black sheep, which would be Resident Evil 3. I have a lenticular case there where it moves, if you can see that. It does move, see that? Yeah. Got this for the collector's edition of the game. I love this game too. It's short, much shorter. You could probably complete it in about 4 hours, 5 hours if you really wanted to. Missing content from the original Resident Evil 3. I love Resident Evil 3 as well. The original, that's why the original of Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is probably number 5 on my list of all time. This is number 9. Number 9. I still love it. I still have fun with it. But it missed the mark. It really did miss the. It didn't have the clock tower in it. It was like, what are you doing? It seemed rushed to me. But I do still love it. I do still love Resident Evil 3. So yeah, not the greatest entry in there, but graphically nice, but just the story was just the same, I guess. But they just missed a lot of content from it, and that was annoying. Next up is Resident Evil 4. What can I say? It is a game that crossed boundaries. Other games tried to copy this game after this came out. It originally came out for the GameCube. I have the PS4 version, which I think is the best way to play on the console, to be honest. It's 180p. You can run at 60 on your PS5. What can I say? It's a classic. I think the remake is better. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but I do think the remake was better. I do think it was better. But this is definitely number 6 on my list of all time. I love it. It's a classic. There's a playthrough on my channel if you want to check it out. And yeah, go check it out. Next up, which is Resident Evil 7. Another one that I just don't feel like it's a Resident Evil game. I actually played this in VR, the whole game in VR. It was phenomenal playing in VR. But like I said, why is it called Resident Evil? This is what I don't understand. It should be just a spin-off. Don't call it Resident Evil. This is not a Resident Evil game. If it wasn't called Resident Evil, I'd give it a pass. But no, I'm not a fan. I'm not really a big fan. You had the family in there. I don't care. I want to play as Leon. I want to play as Chris. I want to play as Jill. I want to play as Rebecca. You know, I want to play as the classic characters from the Resident Evil franchise. I don't want to play as some faceless fucking idiot. This is definitely number 8. I don't know. Actually, I'm not even going to put this in my top 10. I do not like this game. Don't like it. I thought Village was actually a step up. So now we come with some spin-offs. This is Resident Evil Revelations. I've also got a playthrough on my channel of this, which I did complete. The fucking boss at the end was a bitch, but I beat it. It's a good game. Back to Resident Evil style. On the boat at the start, it's pretty eerie. Yeah, I recommend this. This was originally for the DS, Nintendo DS, and they ported it to the PlayStation 4, and they did a really good job. The game looks pretty goddamn good. So there's playthrough job. This is a great game. it's number 5. You know, I'm getting mixed up with my own entries now, but I think it comes to another. It comes to third as well. I give this a joint with the other game, so I'm putting 2 at number 3. This is a great game. Revelations is a great game. Now we get into the controversial game, which would be Resident Evil 5. Zoom in and fucking there we go. Resident Evil 5 includes all the DLC as well. This is a classic. I love it. A lot of people don't like this game either. But I love it. I know. Well, the rumour is they're remaking it, and I'm all for it. But I really think they should remake the first one and Zero, but they probably will in the future, because you know they're going to cash cow the shit out of Resident Evil. But yeah, this is a classic. It's a great game. I love the co-op. Me and my wife have played this together many, many times and beat it together. We seem to always go back to it. Yeah, it's just a classic. If you haven't played it, don't care what anyone says. It's racist. No, it's not. It's just a classic. It just happened to be in South Africa. Now, the next one, which I've not finished the playthrough, I've got to get back to it, which would be... I'm actually at the very end of the boss, and I still haven't done it, which is Resident Evil Revelations, another return to form. It says box set for some weird reason. It's yeah, because it was in chapters, I remember. This is all of the chapters all in one. It's a classic again. It's a classic again. These spin-offs were brilliant. I wish they would have continued. I would love to have seen a Resident Evil Revelations 3. There was rumours that Nintendo were going to do something, but they didn't. Or it's still in the works, who knows. But as a Resident Evil fan, you know, playing Revelations 1 and Revelations 2, they kind of happened in between Resident Evil 4 and 5, if I remember rightly. But look at that eye there. Good God, see a doctor. Classics. Absolute classics. So number 1, you know, would be the original Resident Evil 2. It just is. But then number 2 would be the... I would say Resident Evil... Resident Evil 2 remake, then Resident Evil 4 remake, then these, and then the newer ones like Resident Evil 7 and Village. Yeah, I put them there. If I'm thinking about the proper old school games like Code Veronica or Victoria, whatever, yeah, I've played them. They're okay, but they're not in my top 10. So there we go. A spare of the minute video for you guys. Wanted to get some content out for you. Excuse me. So yeah, as always, subscribe, like, put your comments below what your favourite Resident Evil game is, whether it be the originals or the remakes. So as always, guys, peace out and have a fantastic day.